We were able to go from being stuck at 10 to 15K per month for almost 2 years to hitting 23.3K in a week, 9K in a single day, and 5.1K 4 days before. And we've grown to more than $30,000 per month. This is all in US dollars. And of course, I have proof. Here are Stripe screenshots. Here's from this May, $30,000. Here's from the 1 day, 9K, 23.3K. You can just exchange this on Google if you want. It's Norwegian kroners. It's about 9 kroners per dollar. And we have the 5.1K day, 7.5x increase in profits. And here's the profit in January versus May, $22,000 more in profit. And before you think we've had high volume, we've had 5 to 10 clients signed per month on our fitness coaching offer. If we have a big team, no, we have one full-time employee. We have a part-time closer, and there's me working in our firm. And the product, it's nothing crazy. It's far from crazy. It's coaching for busy women. It's not a huge audience. We average around 1,000 to 2,000 views. And this is not another low-ticket offer. It's not another free community, a perfected VSL, a questionnaire ad, or whatever bullshit everybody is selling you right now on Instagram. Instead, we just cracked one thing: how to only get the right ICP coming to us using just normal content, and how to keep it that way using data. The truth is, for most coaches, they're stuck at around 10 to 15,000. And just for the record, 10 to 15 is already ahead of most people, right? But the game changes after that, and you're not a bad coach. You're for sure putting in the effort if you're at 10 to 15K. But when you lack the right system, you don't scale past the 10 to 15K dollars mark per month, and growing more requires that you have more control than ever before. More quality of the actions you decide to take. It isn't just a time and volume game. It's a quality game from there on. And today I'm going to walk you through the entire system on this board, the system I created, and the actual things that I use to grow my own fitness business. So this isn't just theory, it's used. And by the end, you're going to see exactly where your current approach is leaking and what the fix actually looks like. Because the problem when you lack the right system is that you get inconsistent lead flow and a low revenue growth. You don't get the right data to make clear decisions on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. You get the wrong clients, the ones who drain you, negotiate on price, have a ton of objections. You end up swapping tactics all the time, again, because you don't have the correct data, you don't see the result you want, and people build funnels for you. That's crazy complicated. You can't control yourself, and they haven't even been in your position before. When you run like this, 3 things happen on repeat. You have to go from a scarcity mindset. So you will have to chase each lead. You will have to discount, and you will attract low-paying clients. And those are also the highest energy draining, the ones requiring the highest level of delivery. So it's gonna flow your whole system with the wrong kind of work and keep you stuck. And full capacity, of course, without the profit. So a ton of work and no profit to show for it. And here's what I figured out. The solution is absolutely not working harder. It's not a brand new offer. It's not a crazy content strategy. I haven't been going viral, nothing like that. It's very simple. It doesn't require a huge audience, not going viral. It doesn't require years of experience with running ads and having a crazy funnel, again, with like 20 different steps, and you have to test ads constantly. No. It's just 5 steps, done in the right order, tracked with the right data. And it's so crazy simple. I'm gonna show you absolutely everything today, from step 1 to step 5. And this is distilled from my own failed and succeeded attempts. I've also invested $85,000 across different mentors, and I've used what I've learned there to compile it into this system. I have had countless of hours spent in different courses as well as the mentors, and tested each and every funnel. I've used all the funnels I listed above for my business. And finally, I've completed everything into one system that's simple enough to run and effective enough that you will grow very rapidly when you do this correctly. So we grew, as I mentioned, 7.5x in profit in 5 months when we got this in place. So I'll just show you a quick overview of the visualization of this funnel. So step 1, 2, and 3 all happens up here. So this is the most important part. It's ads, organic content into your profile. So it's kind of a profile funnel, right? Retargeting ads, you'll have your long form, just a standard funnel. You have your DMs where your setter takes over, your sales, step 4, closer takes over, and step 5, you're gonna use the data from everything that happens, including delivery, to know exactly what to do here. But I'll walk you through every single step. And this looks like a normal funnel, right? It looks like just a normal funnel with direct ads going to your IG profile and a DM to call. And it is a pretty normal funnel, but it's not about the steps in the funnel. Because I actually ran the same steps, these 3 steps, for most of my coaching journey. For most of the 2 years that I was stuck, I ran these. But the thing is, one thing is knowing the steps, another is to truly master each and every one and have a simple way to make sure you actually improve each and every one up to 100%, so you know how to leverage them maximally. The difference between doing a 30-40% is staying stuck at 10K with 20K, with 2K profits, 2 to 3K profits, and 100 is growing past 30K with 20K plus profits. It's a crazy difference. So the first step is ICP and getting a clear positioning. The problem for most coaches is that they think they know their clients. So they think they know who they want to help. And usually it will look something like this. And maybe more energy and confidence. But this is not your ICP. What we've created here is just a demographic. This is just a demographic you're helping. And ICP needs to go a lot deeper. Because if you only market to this, you're still gonna attract a ton of unqualified leads. Very many. They're gonna flood your whole funnel. So they're gonna come from the ads, right? They're gonna come into your profile. You're gonna message them, waste a ton of time having both messaging and also sales calls with this type of lead. And you'll always have to chase sales when they truly aren't in your ICP, and I'll explain exactly why. This might bring you like likes on your post, engagement, stuff like that, because they can still like enjoy some of your content, but your content isn't actually attracting clients. Your content isn't making everyone just send you a message because they're really interested in your coaching. And that's where the ICP comes in. It's going to change absolutely everything. This is the foundation of everything we're going to build afterwards, all the other steps. Because when you nail your ICP, when you truly know who you want to help, what happens? Your marketing gets super dialed in. So all the content you create after that is super dialed in. And not only that, you can also, with your DMs, with your whole sales process, everything gets dialed in. You already know the answer to every single question before you've even asked it. It makes everything super easy. And not only that, the delivery, the product, how you market it, everything gets easier. So it's really important to get in place. And rather than just finding the demographic, right? Rather than just saying, okay, this is who I coach. It's 30 to 45-year-olds building muscle, losing fat, more energy. I want you to truly map them out. And here is an example from a client of mine, actually. She said she was coaching office workers. They wanted to remove pain, get stronger, and get more energy. That was who she thought she helped. But she was still unclear in her marketing. She was still uncertain on exactly what to market on all the time. And that was because she was lacking a couple of things. She was lacking the true pain points, 3 true pain points, the problems, all the problems from the situation right now. Like, what does the client actually think about when they go to bed? What do they think about when they look at themselves in the mirror? When they go to the office? When they leave the office? Why do they not train? Where they want to go as well. So the after situation they want to. So basically the dream outcome. And everything they really want to achieve. She didn't know all of this, so we mapped it out. And afterwards, she was not just coaching office workers. She was coaching a specific office worker who hated the way they looked in the mirror, who had kids and hated not being able to eat with them, who never felt like they had energy after work and never were able to really play with their kids, who was watching 3 certain types of content all the time, who was Googling 3 certain type of topics, who was interested in 4 different creators on Instagram. Like, everything was mapped out. It's called market research, like doing proper market research on your niche, just figuring out every single aspect of the person you want to help. And the best way to do this is, of course, to help someone that was in your situation from before. Because then you can think, where was I? Where me? And then you can build out all the questions from there. Anyways, this is going to change everything. You're going to be able to just create ideas in a second because you know where they want to go. You know their problem. And what you will do with this later, when we come to content, I'll explain it later. You want to trigger the viewer, your ICP, with every single thing you create. Your ads, your stories, your reels, your carousels, your long form, every single thing. You'll ask yourself, does this trigger yes, maybe, or no? If it's a yes or a maybe, you post whatever you want to post. If it's a no, you never post it. Never post it. If it doesn't trigger them in one sort of way, and triggering them is just triggering the interest, the pain point, the problem they have, the situation, the dream outcome. And when you do that, the ICP, first of all, from knowing your ICP properly, your creatives are gonna attract the correct person into your profile. And after that, your content is gonna nurture the correct profile, ICP, in your profile. And then what's gonna happen? They're gonna contact you. They're gonna be super warm. Selling them is gonna be easier than ever. You can sell on a higher offer. Everything changes when you have this fixed. And of course, it's going to be a lot deeper than this. It's going to be a lot deeper. For example, you need to be able to track this. We'll look at that later. And tracking, by the way, step 5 of this funnel is the most important. When you get step 1, 2, 3, 4 right, it's gonna help a lot. But step 5 is the one that has done the greatest difference to me. So, but this can go a lot deeper. This is just a short example of how we did it. I, of course, cannot walk through it today. It's going to be a several hour-long video. But when you truly nail your ICP, you know where you need to position yourself to attract them. You know exactly how your offer needs to look to attract them, how you need to market it. You will know which types of marketing angles you will need to run. You will know what types of content angles you will need to run. So which themes you need to speak on all the time. And everything goes back to how you trigger the lead. So from here you can build out, of course, your posting structure, and that of course matters too. But this is definitely the most important one first. So the second step is direct followers and story ads. And for most people, it looks something like this. They have a VSL, and then they have ads going into the VSL. This is just one example. I'll show several examples here. They will have a form and they will have a call. And what happens? Getting back to that. Or you could have a direct form ad without the VSL, just ads into a form. Or you could have boosted reels. You just boost the content that has gotten a ton of views, a ton of likes. It doesn't work like that. I'm getting back to that on the next point. Why likes actually doesn't matter at all. I'm gonna explain exactly why, and you're gonna be mind blown. Anyways, form, and then we have the boosted reels that brings in a ton of traffic just directly to your page, but it's not the right traffic, so you get terrible leads. The form is gonna make people book a call. The VSL, people book, or directly even to a call. The thing that happens is that you get shit leads on the call. You get a ton of them as well. You get expensive leads when you run this, expensive leads as well. And you even end up getting no-shows. And the most important thing of all of this, you have basically zero control, because this is really hard to track. It's really, really advanced running. You have to test several VSLs. You have to test several different forms. You have to split test absolutely everything. With the boosted reels, you just get shit leads. But there is a very much easier way to do this. And it is with direct follower ads. It's close to this. And it is with story ads. So what you want to do, first you need to know your ICP. Then you create an ad creative that directly targets your ICP. A ton of your ICPs are going to come into your profile. Some of them are going to follow you immediately. Some need to see a couple of different ads. And then for every single person that engages with some of this is going to be shown story ads as well, trying to get them to either DM or go back to your profile. This is going to bring in a ton of the right leads into your funnel. And then you're going to use, I'm getting back to that later actually, but you're going to use your assets to try to warm them up towards a call. So you actually have qualified leads on the call, and you have to do it correctly. And there's a lot more nuance to this. It could be its own video, but you want to, of course, Test different ad creatives. You have to scale some ad creatives and you have to lower some others. This is really important. You can't just run the same thing for forever and forever. It's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to test to figure out what actually works. All right, let's move on. Content that converts. So now you have your ICP, you have your ads. People are on your profile. Now you need to make sure your content actually works. Your content is going to be stories, reels, carousels, and it's going to be long form content. All of these different pieces of content are going to have what's called bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, and top of funnel. This increases traffic. This increases trust and moves them down the funnel, and this is what actually converts. Now, this is how I want you to look at this. You already have direct follower ads. You don't have to focus on going viral to get followers, and it's really hard to get the qualified followers anyways when you do that. After a while, when you created content for a while, when you've done your ICP correctly, that's gonna be easier to get more followers from this, but you have to build up authority over time. You have to be better at targeting that exact ICP. Like for me now with a new profile on Instagram, it's gonna take time to build up the top of funnel side of things. So you're gonna spend more on ads early and then you're gonna move over to top of funnel later. Anyways, you want to use your long form to get traffic, and in the sales process, you want to use your carousels for traffic, value, or relation building. You want to use your reels for traffic or conversion. Could also use it for the same things as value and relation, just the same as carousels. And your stories, lastly. Here is where you truly convert. And the thing is, every single time a prospect sees your correct type of content, they have a battery here. 0%, 100%. Every time they see something actually triggering them, right? As I spoke of earlier. This is going to fill up, and when they're close to 100, they're gonna contact you. When they are at 100, they're gonna buy. Your whole goal is to move someone from a new follower and down this by posting the correct content at the correct time. So that would be one of these mostly because you have the ad running. So middle of funnel or bottom of funnel. And this is what is truly interesting. You have something called the levels of trust, 5 levels. And when your lead comes into your profile, they're gonna be at level 1, level 5, right? This is where they buy. So if they end here, they're gonna buy. The first level, you need to be consistent, very consistent. You need to post consistently, but that's not what it's about. It's not about posting consistently. It's actually about posting things that trigger your niche consistently, using the same message again and again. That's gonna move them to level 2, where you keep saying the same thing. It's gonna move them to level 3. And here, you're gonna be in the DMs, you're gonna nurture them. It's gonna move them to level 4. Here, you already have influence over them. Here, you just pitch a call. Then they're on level 5 and they buy. I can't go any more into this, sadly. But it's not about the content structure, right? It's not about stealing things from other people. And most people anyways are fucking all of this up because they're just using Claude for content. You need to spend time on actually figuring out your ICP, actually using their pain points, their problems, and coming up with one marketing angle, one solution that actually fits for them that you reuse until they've heard it 100 times. When they've heard it several times, they're gonna buy from you. But you keep swapping what you speak about. So they go back to 0 every single time. When you swap what they speak about, they go back to the top, right? So you need to be consistent with it. Be consistent, make them curious. Make them feel fully understood, that you understand their problems, get your influence over them, and make them take a decision. When you nail this, when you nail step 1, 2, and 3, you're gonna have so many people of the right ICP contact you. And the right ICP will pay more. They will also stay longer in your coaching. They will be more enjoyable to work with. Of course, you're gonna make a hell of a lot more money from your business as well. Let's move on to the next step. DM and sales filtering. This is step 4. So for a lot of people, you end up with a lead that is absolutely not ready to take a decision. You, again, have to discount the price. You get tons of objections on either price or that people have to wait. But when you nail step 1 to 3, people are going to come to your meeting qualified, or to your DMs qualified with an I. And on your sales call, they're gonna be even more qualified if you do the DMs correct. I'm just gonna go briefly into this. You have 2 sorts of DMs you're gonna use. You're gonna use outbound and you're gonna use inbound. For outbound, you want to build a lot of relation/rapport for a longer time. You want to just warm them up, and they're gonna see, when you send them a message, they're gonna see your content more. So it will be in your funnel. With inbound, you want to ask just a few qualifying questions immediately. But both of them ends back up here. The qualifying questions: what is their goal? What is their struggle? What is the true pain? How long? Sometimes you can ask what they've tried. These questions, when you go through it in a conversation, are going to give you exactly what you need, and it's going to give the client clarity on what they need, most importantly. What most coaches get wrong here is that they ask very closed questions. So it's not open-ended questions. They don't actually listen to the lead. They don't listen to what they actually write, and they just go into their script. You can't just go into this like a script, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and go through the conversation like that. Because what's going to happen? The lead is going to see a question. So, is your training going good, man? The lead is going to think exactly this. I'm going to tell you exactly what they think. Okay, he asked me this because he hopes I'm going to say no so he can help me. I'm just going to say yes. They're not going to be honest with you. You have to go through this naturally in a conversation. You have to really master the DMs, and then you're going to book a ton more calls. And the qualified and sophisticated buyers, because the buyers with money, they're sophisticated. You're going to also use your YouTube videos or your long form, and you're going to use this in the DMs to constantly nurture them, so that when they come on a sales call, they are always pre-sold. We've had periods now where we've had 100% close rate on our 2K offer for busy women, like a group that has an okay amount of money. And that's because we truly open them up in the DMs. We make them feel seen. We hit them with our message repeatedly in our content. We make sure to only get the followers that actually are qualified. And we have a clear ICP, a clear positioning, a clear offer. This is going to increase your close rate, your show up rate, your every single step of that. And you can even, when you do this correctly, you can even DM close. It's crazy. So this is the last part, but this is also the most important, because you don't understand how to use, most people at least don't understand how to use the data to improve each and every step. Like, some steps you might think you know, but how do you truly know what makes people buy? Because that's the end goal, right? You want people to buy, you want your coaching to be so good that you have a long lifetime value. And for that, you have to have the correct data. So for most people, they don't have it. They either track just everything, have no idea how to use it, or they track very little. It doesn't really give them anything. And the problem from both of these is that you don't know the exact decisions you need to make at all times. And you can, in fact, know exactly what decisions you need to make with content without just looking at views and likes and stuff like that, because that shit doesn't matter. I'm gonna explain this. Views and likes, here you have a meter. Here's 95% of people, here's 5% of people. This is the percentage that can buy from you. They can end up buying from you. That's like, it's a high percentage for sure from your, like, everyone watching your content. But 5%, that's realistic. And then you have 95%, they will never buy from you. And what's funny, with engagement, comments, likes, reposts, all of this shit, everyone that engages, they are not in the 5%. They're in the 95% that never buy from you. So if you use this as your decision to how you then feed back into your content, into your ads, you're never going to attract the right type of lead in a high volume. So how do you attract it? You need to have a proper client form in place so that client can fill out exactly why they joined. Look at your client calls. Ask on sales calls for every single week, for every single month. And it's not really that hard either, because you can basically just track every single number in one document. You can connect it with AI, and you can have the AI just summarize everything. When you nail all of this, you're almost done. We have one more step. The final piece. When you have your ICP, your ads, your content, your DMs, your data, there's still one more thing that ties everything together. Everything. So you also have the possibility to build your dream life, to build your dream business, to have insane profits, to have insane growth in revenue. The last thing is the reason I built all of this. The reason we 7.5x'd our business, our profit in 5 months, is the reason we got to where we are today with the fitness coaching business. And if you stayed this long anyways, you're probably already interested and should watch the last 3 minutes of this walkthrough. You probably understand every single step I showed you. Step 1 to 5, it's not complicated itself, but simply knowing the steps is not enough. You need to be able to not only look at the frameworks, feel inspired, then go back to doing exactly what you were doing with no increase in quality. Maybe a bit like increase in quality, but then getting stuck again. The difference between the coaches who scale and the ones who stay stuck is not knowledge. It's having someone who's done it hold you accountable. You need to know how to increase the quality and when to increase the quality. The implementation and constant improvement, that's what's truly hard and takes the work. And if you really want to succeed, you can either, of course, do it yourself. You either just don't trust that I can do it, or you don't trust yourself, or it's not the right timing, right? Maybe you are in a good flow right now, maybe you're not stuck. Or you can get help and you can save a ton of failed attempts, time, because you don't have to waste time figuring everything out yourself, and opportunity at the same time. But here is at least how it works. And it's not a course. This program, the Founder System, is weekly one-to-ones. It's a full-on individualized action plan with every single step you need to take, and we update that every single week on our weekly calls. You have access to all SOPs and frameworks we made, both on sales content and every single part of content formats, every single thing. You have your community group of founders, of like-minded people, $10,000 to $15,000 per month founders or above. You have weekly group calls every single week. You have content DM and sales reviews, so you get feedback on every single thing. You can ask questions all the time on all of these things in your one-to-one chat as well. You get physical masterminds, different places in the world, help with tracking of data, and you get also an 8-module course, but this is not the main part of the program. So Discord, Notion, you get access to absolutely everything. The documents help you build out everything, all built to specifically help online fitness coaches scale using the 5 steps we've been through of the core funnel that we've been through today. So if you want to join, you can either click below the video on the link, or you can shoot me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is also linked below the link, or below the video. And yeah, when you get these 5 steps in place, like, the growth is absolutely insane. And when you get the help all the way through, there's not a matter of if you get this in place, it's a matter of when. And if you're quick at implementing, if you're at 10 to 15K already, you are quick at implementing, right? You're good at doing the work. You just need the final guidance. And the growth, when you get this dialed in, it's actually insane. The amount of difference between earning as well 10 to 15K with okay margins and earning 30K plus per month with crazy profit margins, because you know how to pay your team, which tasks you actually need team members for, what you can automate, and you know the steps in and out, so your leads are cheaper, they pay more, they stay for longer, you get less delivery because they're just better leads, and you know exactly how to build out your offer. Everything becomes so much easier because you can spend time actually growing the business. The revenue is going to grow when you spend time on the exact tasks that needs to be done, and the difference is crazy. And I'm just grateful that I've been through all these mentorships, that I've been able to put this together to just a crazy system that's so simple. Just 5 simple steps, right? A funnel with literally 3 steps. I'm so grateful for that, and I just thank you for watching the video, and whatever you do moving forward, just be quick to implement and take quick action. Thank you for watching.